Welcome back to Quantreef.com. XRP sitting right at $1.33, basically glued to the $1 handle, and that's exactly why this zone matters. We're covering liquidity, support and resistance, VWAP, Fibonacci, fair value gaps, positioning, and the likely path over the next few hours, so let's get into it. Price is 1.0033, right on top of session VWAP at 1.0029 and the anchored VWAP from the low near 0.9991, with the anchored high VWAP a touch above at 1.0018. Price is basically accepting right at value, not above or below it, and that's why momentum reads neutral here. Trend and structure score is decent, but the macro and volatility layers are dragging things down. No clean liquidation pool data lighting up on either side right now, so the story's really coming from the fair value gaps overhead instead. There's a cluster of unfilled bearish gaps stacked from 1.013 up through 1.055, and those tend to act like magnets because price left inefficiency behind on the way down that the market often wants to revisit before deciding its real direction. On the panel right now, resistance sits at the 1-hour swing high at 1.0036, just above current price, then the stop-loss cluster up at 1.01382. Below, support shows up at target 1, 0.9846, then target 2 at 0.9656, and target 3 at 0.9452. Given stop hunt risk is marked high and structure strength low, the nearer resistance at 1.0036 is the one likely tested first, and losing 0.99 on a close would invalidate the current balance red. Above price, 3 unfilled bearish 4-hour and daily gaps sit from 1.0131 up to 1.055, each with strong revisit odds historically, making them the more likely magnet on any bounce. There's nothing sitting below in the gap list. On Fibonacci, price is inside the retracement near the 0.382 level at 1.0025, essentially right where we're trading, with extensions up at 1.0315 and 1.0426 as bigger picture targets. Given how close price is to that fib level, the market's more likely to react to it first before testing the gaps higher up. The card grades this a watch, N printed at 81, HTS at 55, so readiness is decent, but the trend score isn't yet strong enough for a high conviction signal. Volume and liquidity, institutional positioning and trend structure are carrying the score, while macro regime, volatility and the fib location layer are dragging it down. 4-hour taker flow shows 43% long against 57% short, so short sellers have been more aggressive lately, meaning a squeeze back into those gaps above isn't out of the question. With price wedged between the 1.0036 swing high and the 0.99 handle, the more crowded short positioning into that taker split suggests any push through 0.0128 for could trigger a squeeze toward the stacked gaps near 1.017 and 1.03. If sellers instead defend and price fails there, the path opens back toward the 0.98 for 6 target and then 0.96 for 6. Remember, XRP largely takes its cues from Bitcoin, so before leaning either way here, check Bitcoin's own liquidity picture. A Bitcoin sweep can override a clean-looking XRP setup entirely. Bullish case confirms above 1.0128 targeting the gap fills, invalidated back under 0.99. Bearish case confirms on a fade from the 1.0 for 8 wall down toward 1.04 and 0.98 for 6, invalidated back above 1.07. So XRP sitting right at a decision point, and whichever side takes the next pool of liquidity likely writes the next real move. If this kind of breakdown helps, give it a like and subscribe, and remember Quantreef.com runs this same 9-layer structure, probability and liquidity read across more than 100 coins, with a 7-day trial to try it yourself. This video is for educational purposes only and doesn't constitute financial advice.